The Peace and Parenting Podcast. I'm Michelle, and I have a guest, Katrina, on who's going to be asking a parenting question. Katrina, would you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, my name is Katrina, and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I have two daughters. Avery is 9, and Lila is 6.
Got it. Okay, and we've got some sibling stuff happening. Can you explain to everybody kind of where you're at?
Yes, so my youngest one, Lila, she still has these meltdowns, and the issue that we're currently having is that Lila will want to play with something, and she will have this epic meltdown, and Avery, if she's already playing with it, she will sometimes give it to Lila because she just doesn't want to deal with the meltdown. But then it has her feeling like she doesn't matter, like
Yeah.
Lila always wins.
Yeah.
And I just don't feel like I have the tools at times to handle it.
Okay, this is good. Common, I think, super common, and
Yes.
super common for the little one to throw the fit and the older one just to be like, oh, fine, just take the thing. And it's also common for us to be like, just give her the thing because we don't want to hear the complaining, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes, because we just want it to stop.
Yes.
I think if we can reframe, so let's just reframe this whole thing. Let's say you're playing with your phone, you're on your phone, and I'm like, Katrina, give me your phone. I want to have your phone. Please give me your phone. Now, would you even think to give me your phone?
No.
Exactly. So, and because I'm throwing a fit, is that your responsibility?
No.
No. And how would you feel if somebody who was a third party said, Katrina, give her the phone. We don't want to hear her cry.
I would be very annoyed.
Right. So, and then what does that do for the relationship that you have with you? What does that do to your and my relationship?
Not very good.
Right. So
resentment, yes.
all the things, like she gets what she wants. She's the whiny little brat. Why does she get it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter our age difference.
No.
It doesn't matter. It's your thing. You're playing with it. You don't have to give it up regardless. So wait, the older daughter's Avery?
Yes.
Okay, I've got to get confused here. So Avery doesn't have an obligation to give it to her sister. She really doesn't.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to listen. Like if I'm yelling and screaming about your phone, you're going to have to listen to it.
Yeah.
Because you can't shut somebody up. You really can't. And you don't want to shut them up by giving them what they want, because what does that tell them?
That's how they get what they want.
Right. And that whatever Avery has isn't important enough. It's mine.
Yeah.
So what can we do? How can we come to them so that it doesn't have to be like this, harsh thing? There's something called I'll be with you while you wait. And it's a way in which we can navigate sharing.
Okay.
So what you can say to your younger daughter is she can say, Avery, can I have that thing when you're done? And then Avery gets to say yes or no.
Okay.
And maybe Avery will say, yes, you can have it when I'm done. And now the little one is going to be pissed. I want it now. No, please give it to me right now. And our obligation as the parent is to come to her and say, I know you really wanted it, but you can't have it right now. And now we have to lean into disappointment. She gets to be disappointed.
Yeah.
She gets to be mad about it. And it's okay. But we have to listen to the feelings.
Yes. Yes.
That's the hard part. But over time, if you listen to it enough, it'll probably go away.
Yeah.
She'll get the picture, like, I can't just scream and yell and get what I want. And Avery has a right to her thing. And now Avery's going to feel somewhat like, vindicated in a way, like, yes, this is my thing. I can play with it until I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that Avery will say, yes, you can use it when I'm done? Or are there some things that, by the way, she doesn't have to?
I think sometimes she will say yes, but I do think that there's sometimes she's going to say no.
And
because she gets particular about her things, and I do not blame her. Like, she has little art projects, and sometimes she doesn't want us messing with them.
I mean, just think about it, Katrina. If I were to say can I play with your phone when you're done? No, you'd be like, weirdo, no, you can't play with my it's my phone. Like, duh. And I'm sure that's how your Avery feels. She's like, it's my art project. No, you can't play with it ever.
Yeah.
And she has a right to feel that way. And she has a right to be able to tell her sister no. And her sister has a right to have her feelings, but she also is obligated to hear no.
Yes.
And it's okay for her to be upset. Now, do we see this in other places in the little one's life where she can't hear no?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think really leaning into having the boundaries with her, like, no, we can't do this. No, you can't have the toy. No, and just really kind of sitting in with no with her for a little bit,
Hmm.
but letting her be mad.
Yeah. Do you feel like as you do that, do you think that the upset time shortens?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Like
what we
just
yeah,
go ahead.
we see that the upset because often the upset isn't about that thing. It's maybe other things inside of her that are percolating, and it comes out in a way like, "I need that toy. I need that thing. I need that one thing," because she's trying to, like, quell her feelings.
Yes.
And when we say no, all the feelings come out for the other little things, but over time, we're decreasing that well of feelings.
Yes. Okay. That makes sense.
So she's going to have hopefully, we see that kids have fewer tantrums and they have tantrums that are shorter
Hmm.
because they're regulating more because they're getting it. We want them to get it out.
Yes.
And I think what's happening is that you're giving into her, so she's never really getting them out,
Probably.
right? She's full. So she keeps trying to push her feelings down by getting the thing.
Yeah.
She thinks that's going to help her. Somehow she's rationalized in her brain, right? That's going to help me feel better. If I can have that thing over there, it's going to help me push my feelings down. But we're
Yeah.
doing her a disservice.
Yes.
So you're going to have a lot of tantrums
I know.
for a couple of weeks. And you'll have to lean into them. What comes up for you when you think about having the tantrum with her?
Uh, well, I just kind of wanted her to be quiet.
Yes. Just kind of.
There's always been something about her and how she yells. It's very triggering to me.
Okay.
So, um,
Were you yelled at as a kid?
yes,
Mm,
definitely. Yelling in general is very triggering to me. She's also very similar. I think she's more similar to me
mhm,
than Avery. Not that Avery isn't, but like Lila, she's just got some real similar tendencies. So I feel
mhm,
like it can be very triggering when she starts to lose it. Like
mhm,
I have a very hard time composing myself.
mhm.
It kind of like it brings up this rage,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It can, and especially if we were yelled at and we weren't allowed to have feelings.
Yes.
And so it can feel like they're not listening to me, they're disrespectful, they're unkind. We go to all these things that probably our parents thought of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we can try to find a new mindset around that, I think that thing can be helpful. And then I'm gonna give you some other practical things, but just really thinking like she's having a hard time.
Yeah.
She's unable to manage her feelings and she doesn't really know what else to do.
Yeah.
And it's yelling from a child, which is very different than yelling from an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if we can reframe it and just think like, it's not going to kill us. The feelings are not going to kill us. They're just feelings. That's
Yeah.
all they are. And they will pass if we allow
Yes.
them to. And thinking too, like, how would you have wanted your parents to come to you if you had a fit?
Oh, I would have much preferred comfort than yelling and like, don't cry, like you're being ridiculous, like all of those things. So
Mhm.
I've been trying to just like sit with her, have her on my lap because she's still little,
Yeah.
and just try to, when she's in that state, I really try when I can to kind of like be calm,
Yeah.
right? Like try to really
Yeah.
calm myself, even though she's losing it.
And maybe now that you have this idea and this plan, you'll be more ready for it. right?
Yes.
Because I think what we also try to do is, like, we're just trying to, like, "Please don't let it happen today. Please just let them share. Please let them share today. Please don't," and we're, like, hoping for a miracle, and then what happens, we're like, "Oh, not again." Like, we're mad, right?
Yeah.
So if we go into it knowing she's gonna have the fit, Avery's gonna say no, it's gonna be a whole thing, and my expectation is that's what will happen. It makes it easier to come into it.
Yeah. Yeah. When I'm prepared for it.
Yes. So now you're gonna think worst case scenario, she's gonna say no, and you're gonna have to listen to a 20, 30-minute tantrum of her being disappointed. But we're teaching her an incredible lesson
Yeah.
that you're safe, that you are willing and able to have feelings with her, that she can be disappointed, and that people can say no to her and she will still survive, and that she doesn't need to get everything she wants, and that her feelings are able to come out and be heard.
Yes.
Yeah. You're gonna get there.
I will.
Yeah, you will get there. You're so close.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're so close. Okay, what other things make you nervous about this idea?
I think myself, like I definitely notice times in the month when I just don't have the bandwidth. So what do I do if
Yeah.
like in the moment, like I can't be
Yeah.
calm and I want to yell, what's my alternative? What can
Right.
I do?
So what I would say is if you're like, I call those the moments, like the fire drill moments, like you
Yeah.
just like you can't, you walk away.
Okay.
Just let them figure it out and you walk away for the moment, because it's better to let them figure it out than for you to start yelling at people.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
you just when you start feeling hot and it's like, I know I feel tense and my heart starts to beat and my face gets red and I like start to really lose it. I know if I can stop myself there and walk away, say, I've got to go to the bathroom. You know what? I gotta use the restroom. I gotta make an email. I have to call grandma. I have to like do something right now. And they're little enough that they won't take it personally. And if you go and just take a moment and then come back, it might help you re-regulate.
Okay.
You can also find a mantra to say to yourself, like, I can do this. It's only feelings. I don't need to yell. You know, they're just little. Whatever you can find to say to yourself in those moments might talk you off the ledge.
Okay.
You can also go find a pillow and scream into it
Yes.
in the bathroom, in your bedroom, wherever you need to do, and just scream it out in the pillow and then come back.
Okay.
I think all those things can be kind of helpful in just, you don't have to respond to everything. You
Yeah.
really don't have to. If there's a sharing thing going on and you're over the edge, let them, they'll be okay. You can come back in 5 minutes and figure it out then. Okay. What else? Anything else?
Yeah. I mean, how do you deal with your spouse who just, I guess, doesn't understand it? And
Yeah.
that I have difficulty with that because I definitely understand, and work on connection and things like that. But like
Mhm.
this triggers him a lot. So it's like, how do I?
Yeah. The big feelings trigger him.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And he's a dude. He's a dad to two girls. So the
Yeah.
emotions and yeah,
Yeah.
it's like he
It's a
doesn't
lot.
understand it. It is a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot for men. My ex-husband has a hard time with it too. He just gives them what they want, right? He's that kind of guy. Just wanna go to Target? I'm like, "No, no, we don't stuff our feelings in shopping. That's not good." But I get it. I think having a conversation with him and saying, "Listen, I'm gonna be trying this. I'm gonna let her tantrum. I'm gonna let her have her feelings. I'm gonna, come to her," so that he is also prepared and has that expectation, so that he's not like, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing? Like, why are you letting her roll around on the ground and carry on like a crazy person?" And if you can explain to him, like, I'm teaching her that somebody can say no to her. I'm teaching her that, she can be disappointed and it's okay to be disappointed. So I think if you tell him what the expectation is and then that's what you're doing, and then tell him like, I really want you to watch me do it, and then we can talk about what we think afterwards.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, and then you're gonna be leading by example each time. So each time you do it, he's watching you. So, like,
Yeah,
what do you wanna teach him in that moment? He's really watching you, and you're gonna be his teacher. And so really thinking of it as, like, you're modeling how you want him to come to the girls when he's ready,
got it.
when he's ready. He'll get there. If he sees it get better and the progression and everything, he'll get there.
When she's in the middle of the tantrum, do I say anything? Do I just sit there in the calm? Like, what do you recommend?
That's a good question. I recommend the idea of empathy in your heart and mind. Like, "Oh,
Mhm.
I feel bad for her. She's having a real hard time." Not sympathy, not like, "Oh, poor baby," but more like, "This is hard. I can see her plight. I understand." And you can use words like, "I know this is hard. I know you wanted that toy. I really get it. I'm sorry it's not working out like you want." But uh, I would use talking about 15 to 20% of the
Yeah.
time, and I would use listening about 80% of the time.
Okay.
But when you're listening, you're present, you're
Mhm.
there, she knows you're there, you're at her level. You're not just, like, standing in a different room or leaving her by herself. You're, like, in it with her, but
Yeah.
quietly listening.
Okay.
That's the most I think being a good listener and really listening to her words and responding just a little bit here and there can be helpful.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna do it.
I am. I am. This is all great because I've been just confused at what to do. So now I feel like I have a plan for
Mm.
when the next one hits because it is going to hit.
Of course. It's gonna hit again and again and again for a while, and it'll be really good practice for you.
Yeah.
And if you go into it knowing it's gonna happen, it takes almost 50%, I think, away of the stress because you're like, "Okay, I already knew this was gonna happen. What did I expect?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and I think just also just back to the sharing piece, that she can ask her sister, "Can I have that when you're done?"
Okay.
And then you can say to her, "Well, I'll be with you while you wait," if she's waiting for it, or, "I'll be with you while I wait for you to have these big feelings because 'cause you're never getting it."
So I do have one more question.
Yeah, yeah.
So I do feel like Avery, like, how do I fix? Because some of the comments she just made is like, I don't matter. Lila always wins. What helps to heal some of that she's feeling?
Well, I think you holding the line and really saying that Lila doesn't get it and listening to Lila's feelings and allowing Avery to keep the
Yes.
thing is going to help her feel more seen and heard and understood.
Okay.
You can also go back to her and apologize. Like now, you could say, "You know what, Avery? I've been really thinking about this type thing. Like every time Lila asks for something and I make you give it to her, that wasn't the right thing to do. And I'm really sorry. And I'm going to make sure that she asks you if she can use it. And you make sure that you know you can say yes or you can say no whenever you want.
Okay.
And so that she knows it's coming and that she knows that you're changing things and that you're sorry about not doing it the right way."
Okay. I love that.
Yeah, I think it'll help her.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Yep, and she can and make sure she knows you can say no.
Yes. That's what I really do want her to know. Like, you can say no.
Yeah, and say, "I even want you to say no because it's important that Lila learns that she can't have everything.
Yeah.
And so if you at all wanna keep that thing, please say no."
Okay.
Yeah, and so that she's empowered to do that, and what this will also do is balance their relationship back out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe, it'll work the other way at some point. I don't know, but
Yes.
maybe.
Yeah.
At some point it might. And so then, Avery or Lila has the right to say no also,
Yeah.
and she realizes that. And she might say no to her sister more during this process for a minute
Yes.
because she's trying to get back at her.
Okay.
So just know that too, like, the pendulum's gonna be swinging all over the place,
Okay.
but eventually it'll temper.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. This was a good one, Katrina.
This was so good. I feel a lot more confident now
Yes.
knowing that I do have a lot more tools to handle this because it's like daily, sometimes a couple times a day. So it
Yes. It's a lot, and also you can use the listening skills for other moments when people are having feelings.
Mhm.
You can use the, self-regulation skills for other moments when you're having a hard time.
Yeah.
So there's these skills you can just, like, kind of scooch around in other parts of your parenting.
Beautiful.
Yay! Thank you for coming on the podcast. It was so
Yes.
nice to have